To set up the functionality of a PTZ camera, set up the camera as normal with the correct driver, IP address, as well as valid login and password credentials. Wait for the camera to connect to CATHEXISVision and give it a descriptive name. Set up the video feeds and then on the PTZ tab, ensure that the Enable PTZ option is ticked to open the PTZ settings wizard. Prior to setting up the camera, decide what views are required as well as descriptive names for each view, then assign those names to the presets by selecting the presets and editing the name. Repeat this for all the required views, remembering that it can be edited at any time. The next task is to use the on-screen controls to manipulate the camera position, zoom and focus to achieve the desired view and then save or set it. One of the presets can be selected as a home position, which becomes the default view if the Go Home During Schedule option is selected and there is operator inactivity. Repeat the process of configuring the views for each of the preset options, not forgetting to click Set to store the settings. Click Next to close the wizard. The PTZ camera will now be listed as a resource that can be dragged onto the camera viewing screen. Selecting the camera and moving the cursor to an open area on the resource list and selecting the PTZ icon will enable the PTZ controls. Now choosing a pre-configured position and clicking Go will move the PTZ camera to that position. The joystick and zoom and focus controls can also be used if the operator has been granted the correct access levels. Every time there is manual interaction with the PTZ camera by the operator, the manual button becomes active, and after a short period, the auto button becomes active and the camera returns to its home position. This is a security feature and is a function of the manual dome override time setting in the server setup, working in conjunction with the Go Home During Schedule option in the camera setup screen. Automatic PTZ tours can be configured by returning to the PTZ tab in the camera setup screen, and clicking the Configure PTZ Tour button and then choosing New to configure a new PTZ tour. Name the tour and select a relevant schedule. Select the required presets and configure the hold time, the time the camera lingers at that view before moving to the next. Click the Go button to add this to the tour sequence list. Once complete, click on the OK button, and if all is fine and no further editing is required, close the camera setup and return to the camera viewing screen. If the PTZ camera is selected and the schedule used in the tour setup is active, then the tour will run and automatically change from scene to scene. It can be observed that the camera remains in auto mode unless manual control of the PTZ is taken, in which case the manual override period comes into play. Thank you for watching Setting Up a PTZ Camera.